How's it going, everybody? It's the Keenest Fox here. This is my channel where I talk about anime, video games, and cartoons. And today I will be talking about a ship from Sonic. So, what is Sallicole? It's a ship named between Sally Acorn and Nicole the Hollow Lynx. And I'm going to explain my reasons why I think it works well as a pair. If you're aware, Sally is princess of the Acorn Kingdom and leader of the Freedom Fighters. Nicole was once a supercomputer turned into an AI who can manifest herself into the form of an animal lynx through nanobots. They have both been around since Sonic's IDM and were a big part of the Archie comics during its run. So how did this ship come to be, and why do I ship them? Well, it all started when the writers of the Sonic comics, Ian Flynn and his wife, Aaliyah Baker, were given mandates on what they can and can't do to their stories. One of the rules included not pairing canonical characters with anyone, so that included Sonic and Sally as a couple. So after the reboot, where a lot of events and characters got retconned, they wanted to try something new with Sally as far as love interest goes. Not to mention how Nicole has always been one of her closest friends other than Sonic and Bunny. But of course, this just got met with a lot of backlash and some fans saying it's out of nowhere, and some who are Sun Alley fans who can't see it outside of anything else. Personally, myself, I don't think it's out of nowhere because it's the reboot. They're given a clean slate as far as history goes, and looking back at Sonic's IDM and the pre-reboot, they also have a healthy friendship. Not to mention how Sally is 16 in the comics, and usually that's around the age when people discover newer things about themselves, like, I don't know, sexual orientation. So, before I give my reasons why I ship these two, I'll talk about the other ships that the characters have been involved in, such as Sonic, Joffrey St. John, Monkey Khan, and Shard. As most people would know, Sonic and Sally have been an item in the cartoons and comics, and most people should know by now. I don't ship them since I'm a Sonic fan, but that's not to say they never had a good thing going as lovers. Sally's former crush was on the soldier Joffrey St. John, who was one of her dad's secret servicemen. Personally, I don't like Joffrey as a character, and he was intended to serve as a love rival to Sonic, before later marrying his wife, Hershey the cat. Sally's romance with Monkey Khan was handled decently during the Return of the Iron Queen arc, and I have to say it's a bit more of an underrated ship. Monkey Khan first appeared earlier in the Sonic series as a temperamental prince who felt entitled to everything as royalty, kind of like Koga from Inuyasha. But his relationship with Sally taught him humility, patience, and justice, which is pretty neat. But unfortunately, Sally didn't follow through the relationship because of her feelings for Sonic, so it was short-lived. And finally, Nicole's relationship with Shard, the Metal Sonic, which is a fan favorite. If I'm being honest, I actually think they make a decent pairing, and I really like some of the fan art done on Pinterest done on them. In the comics, Nicole and Shard have had a unique friendship despite Shard's history as Metal Sonic. She was one of the first to warm up to and even empathize with him, after once being turned evil herself. Shard frequently visits Nicole to play chess and chat, so for the most part, I think they make a cute pair. So, why do I prefer Sally with Nicole? Well, first off, they've had one of the longest histories with one another, dating back since Sonic's IDM. Nicole has always been there, helping out the Freedom Fighters as a handheld computer, and throughout the show and later in the comics, she becomes more human. Well, you know what I mean. In fact, she builds a digital body for herself to interact with her friends, showing you how humane she is. And it was Sally who first discovered Nicole in this new form in both timelines. Sally has always treated Nicole like a sister and regarded her as a best friend, as well as Buddy Robin. She also expressed a lot of concern for her when Eggman was going to use the warp roboticizer, which would have killed her or any other robot given the chance. Or how Sally had defended Nicole when Mina the Mongoose had written a terrible song about her, which had left Nicole in tears. One of the biggest examples that fleshes out Sally and Nicole's relationship is the Spark of Life mini arc, which I suggest you read. It's a story that covers Nicole's history and her origin in the rebooted timeline. It's revealed Nicole was created by the scientist Dr. Elodie to save his daughter Nikki's life. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to, but instead scanned her brain patterns, which has given Nicole her more human traits in the process. Dr. Elodie held some resentment against Nicole, but he tries to remain fair and respectful at the same time. During the mini arc, Sally has butted heads with him over Nicole's worth as a person. Sally goes as far as to risk her own life and defend her own friend, which cements the lengths Sally would go for her. And that's why I prefer Sally and Nicole. And you're allowed to think otherwise. If you think if you prefer Sun Ellie, that's cool. Prefer Sally with Monkey Khan, I think that's also cool. And I'm not trying to say that Sallicole is better than Sun Ellie. I'm just saying that this is just my preference and my preference alone. But anyways, Nicole has always been there for Sally, and they've grown up together. And Sally is a person who's the most accepting to Nicole, and that is why I ship the two.